Good afternoon and welcome to my channel. I'm Maggie Ubeze and today is day 20 of my 40-day water fast. Now, this video in particular is not going to be recounting day 20. I will make another one later for that. This video is one where I'm going to be telling you guys a story. The story of all my fasting fails, all the times I failed at fasting that brought me up to this point in time. So a few people have, in the last 20 days since I started this fast, a few people have said, oh, we would like to join you. And I know one or two people have actually joined, although thank God they are doing short fasts. However, I must say that my journey to fasting started a long time ago, and I was thinking of it. So my story begins now. I was thinking about it. I started my quest, or fasting became an interest over 14-15 years ago, really. And I recall that in 2009, soon after my mom died, that was my first attempt, not at a water fast, but at a fruit fast. So I started a fruit fast. I recall that was my very first attempt. I started a fruit fast, and by the second or third day of the fruit fast, I can't remember how long that fruit fast was supposed to be, but at the second or third day of the fruit fast, I fell really ill. Like, I started having a running stomach and throwing up, and it was so bad that I was in the office when it started on a Friday evening. I remember it was Friday because I was supposed to travel Saturday morning to the east for a family meeting to discuss my mom's burial arrangements. And so I had left work. It had started at work, like my stomach was turning and all, but I kind of ignored it. And then I left the office. I went across to an ATM machine, lined up. But while I was lined up, I was feeling very nauseous. And then just when I collected my money, I threw up. I just managed to not throw up on the cash machine, but ran out of the booth and just threw up. And then my stomach was really rumbling, so I went back into my office. They were like, we thought you've gone home. I went back into my office, and my stomach ran and ran, and I was throwing up at the same time. I think this was like the day 2 or 3 of this fruit fast. So I was having a running stomach and I was throwing up a lot, so much that my boss was like, you can't go home like this, we need to take you to hospital. Okay, no, she said someone needs to follow you home. So we got a taxi, and on the way my stomach was rumbling. I was like, hope I don't need to go in the taxi. And I didn't, but I think I threw up. There was a paper bag. I threw up into the paper bag, and then I called my husband and said, I've been throwing up and cold. I had planned to come home, but I'm not. I'm going straight to the hospital. Come and meet me at the hospital. So I went to the hospital. I got there, told them what's been happening. They gave me an injection that stopped everything. So I know it stopped the running stomach, it stopped the throwing up. I was just feeling nauseous. And then they ran tests. What the test results, now I think back, I'm like, well, maybe they were wrong. I don't know. The test results revealed that I had sepsis, that I had so much toxins in my bloodstream. They were like, it was some kind of blood infection. But now I'm thinking, with the knowledge I have, I think what happened was I was so toxic in my body. And when I started the fruit fast, my body started loading out all the toxins in my system into my bloodstream, and I had this horrible reaction. So that was my very first trial. Now, some years down the line, maybe like 2 or 3 years after, I remember I did another fruit fast. This time it was 12 days. So when I started the fast, I was doing something funny. I said it was a fruit fast, right? But whenever I got to the office, I would take 3 spoons of food. Maybe in the morning, I'll take 3 spoons of rice or 3 spoons. I was allowing myself to take 3 spoons of anything from anybody and eat. So I did that for like 2 or 3 days, and I was like, Margaret, you're not really sticking to the fruit fast. I mean, you can't call this a fruit fast if you're busy eating from people's plates. And so, and I think the second or third day, I stopped that and stuck to the fast. And then I fruit fasted for 12 days. It was supposed to be, I think, 14. But I was so hungry. I lost a lot of weight. In fact, I went from a size 18, UK 18, to a UK 16 in those 12 days, and I've remained a UK 16 since then till now. And I remember why I broke that fast. I was just hungry. I so wanted to eat food. I couldn't anymore. By day 12, I was seeing food everywhere, smelling food everywhere. My stomach was screaming for food. I just needed to eat food, and so I did. And but that was one of my successful fruit fasts. That was so many years ago. So many. Then I kept researching, watching videos of people who had done 30-day water fast, 21-day water fast. I'm sure right now it's very hard for me to get onto YouTube and not see a video I haven't watched on 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 21 days, 30, 40-day water fast. As far as, someone has done it and recorded it, I want to watch it and hear from them. There was this lady that did 120 days. How did she do it? She did 40 days water fast. She was taking supplements at the time and a multivitamin. At the time, taking supplements wasn't popular, so people used to just do water fast and plow through the weakness and all the horrible symptoms that used to come with fasting. But she did 40 days, then she did 7 days refeed, and even in that 7 days she was very strict about what she was eating. And then she did another 40 days, and then 7 days, and then another 40 days. She went from being a chubby woman to almost a skeletal, version of herself. She eventually pulled down those videos because it caused a lot of controversy, so many things. This was way back. This was like 2000 and, 13, 12. It's been a long time. It's like 12 or 13 or 14 years ago. That far back, I've been watching fasting videos. So, I remember in 2015, I was my first attempt at a 40-day water fast. And, before that, I did a 3-day water fast. Now, something had happened some months before. I had been having a hard time at work, and I was feeling a bit depressed. So I was finding it hard getting up and showing up, which has always been my mantra, that no matter what is going on in my life, Maggie, get up and show up. And that season, I was finding it very hard to get up and show up. So I was very draggy, I was depressed. People didn't know, but I was just having a hard time with coping with life. By this time, my husband had been dead for some years, and I was at work. I was just struggling. And then I did a 3-day water fast. It was successful. That particular one was successful. And it was just a fast that I did. But it was a fast that opened my eyes to the benefits of fasting, at least for me. Because I did this 3-day water fast. After the 3 days, I started eating. And then it took me about 2 weeks to notice that, hey, Maggie, you stopped being draggy. I noticed that the situation at work hadn't changed, but I was waking up, I was facing the day, I was going about work with energy. I realized, oh, I had energy. I wasn't like high and happy, no, but I wasn't depressed either. And when I realized, I was like, wow, I think that fast did something, a lot. Jump started me, restarted me up. And then I think I'm not 100% sure. That time I used to, because of where I was emotionally, I always used to have colds, cold and catarrh and scratchy throat. And after that fast, they all just disappeared. So that was one thing that had happened. And so some months later or so, I underwent a breakup. Now this particular breakup was my decision. But this was a guy I had dated, broken up, come back together. He had proposed, I had agreed, and one or two things happened. There was also a little bit of family interference, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going forward with this, and we went our separate ways. And I wasn't feeling too good about it, because there was a part of me that felt he was supposed to be the one. So I said, okay, do you know what, my girl, you need to do something. And that something was a 40-day water fast. So that was going to be my first attempt. This was in 2015. And that's why whenever I talk about my fasting journey, I say 8 years. Because that was about 8 years ago, if I'm right, yeah. So I started the fast. Day 2 of that fast, I was so hungry, it was crazy. But I managed to plow through the hunger. And then day 3 came and went. So day 4, I broke the fast on day 4. So day 4, what happened? I woke up, it was like there was a switch. I could barely get up. I was extra tired, extra weak. I guess that was the first time I was feeling like that, so it scared me. So I managed to get up. Then my skin, oh my goodness, it was like my skin was an oil well. My face was so oily, my neck, everywhere was as if I was producing oil. So, and I was feeling crazy weak and tired, and faint and lightheaded, and I was like, no, it's like I'm going to die or something. And so I ate, and that was how I broke that fast on day 4. And that was the beginning of all my many fasting fails. So between then, my very first 40-day attempt, to now, I cannot count how many times I have tried to start a 40-day water fast. One thing or the other will stop me. If it's not hunger on day 2, it will be hunger on day 3. Because sometimes I would start, get to day 2, I'm very hungry, manage to plow to day 2, get to day 3, and then hunger is like times 100. Like I'm seeing food, smelling food, wanting food. Everything about me is about food. If you're having a conversation with me, I can't hear you because I'm so hungry. I want to eat, like eat, so many times I've had that feeling when I started fast, and man, when it's like that, I just it's not worth the fight. That's how I go, and then I eat. I've had a situation where it was cold. Now usually on day 2 or 3 my body temperature just drops. There was this particular fast I started. I don't even know, not most times when I started fast, I started at either 6 p.m. in the evening or 9 p.m. I call it a cutoff mark, and my fast starts. I don't know how my body knew. I mean, I had eaten, maybe the cutoff was 6 or 9, I can't remember. But by the middle of the night, I was sleeping, I woke up, I was freezing already. The next day, which was supposed to be day 1, I was so cold. I think that day I went to work. By the middle of the next day, that by the middle of day 1, my teeth were chattering, I was shaking, I was like, what is this? Like, my body temperature just kept going down. It was just falling, and I was like, I was in the office, I think I made a cup of coffee, hot brewing coffee. And I drank it, and after that I had a meal, and immediately I ate. I was fine. The cold disappeared. I was like, I don't know what that was, but I don't like it. And many times I've attempted a fast and that happens. Not that bad. That one was just really unique. But by day 2 or 3, I start feeling really cool. This fast that I'm on, it only happened once, and it wasn't so bad, you know. So I'm giving you the various fasting feels, the various things that made me start and break my fast, either on day 1 or 2. Then there was this year, I started the fast. I've been trying to remember. I said I've done 8 days before 3 times, and I couldn't remember why I broke the first one, but I recalled today. I actually traveled for a program, sisters program in Benin, and I fasted throughout. On the day that I came back was day 8, but I came back and I was feeling very tired, not even hungry, but tired, really tired. And then as I got into the house, there was this hot pot of rice. Now, rice is my kryptonite. And I just went over and took the rice and ate. That was it. After eating that rice, it knocked me out. I remember that I slept a lot. So that was one fast that I reached day 8. That was my first day 8. And then I broke it. And that was it. There was this other fast I did. This was before COVID, just before COVID. So I went on a leave and I went on a retreat. Now, it was supposed to be a 14-day water fast, right? 14 days. And I traveled, got to where I was to stay for the 14 days. But for the first 5 days, I didn't fast. Well, I did OMAD. I just found myself eating once a day every evening at about 6 p.m. I'll just eat. So instead of doing a straight fast, I did OMAD. So I was eating once a day. I did it once a day for 5 days. Then I did a 3-day hard dry fast. Now, because I was alone, a hard dry fast is where you have no exposure whatsoever to water. So because I was alone, I didn't have a bath, I didn't brush my teeth, I didn't do anything, I didn't expose myself to water at all. And I successfully did 72 hours hard dry fast. And I was happy with myself. So I broke that fast with water and smoothies. So after that, I wanted to do smoothies for the rest of my stay. However, a friend of mine in that town had invited me for a dinner. So I just managed to do 2 days smoothie. And then I got to her house and she loaded me up with rice and chicken. And I was trying to tell her, look, I can't eat all this. And she didn't want to hear. So I had to eat that food. Luckily for me, the effects weren't too bad, just a lot of stomach pain and discomfort. And then for that night, funny enough, I don't think it ran my stomach. But what happened was the next day after that, I think for the rest of the trip, which was for another 3 days or so, I just stuck to smoothies. So I won't call that a fasting feel. It's just that I didn't do 14 days straight water fast. Instead, it was just a mixture of different things. So I did smoothies. So that was one. Then after COVID, and that was the one I recorded. It's, if you check this channel, you will find it. I was to do a 40-day fast. I started, but by day 7 I fell ill, and then by day 8 I just stopped the fast and I ate. And that was the second one or the third one, I can't remember. So came last year and this year. This year, from January 2nd to March, every day has been day 1. So if you count the series, let's say that in this year, before this fast, we've already had, let's say, 100 days. I can tell you that 85 of those days were day 1s for me. I kept trying, especially the last year. I'll do 1 day, 2 days, 1 day, 2 days. Sometimes I'll reach 3, sometimes I'll reach 4, then I'll break. But it was mainly 1 day, 2 day, 1 day, 2 days fast. Okay. Then last year I did 2 fruit fasts that were successful towards the end of the year. I did a 10-day fruit fast, and then in December last year I did a 14-day fruit fast. So yay. Then this year, from January 2nd to March 22nd, almost every day was day 1. Like almost every day was day 1 of my 40-day water fast, day 1 of my 40-day water fast, day 1 of my 40-day water fast. And I was just having, I just kept feeling. I've had fasts that I started, and what stopped me was crazy headaches. Maybe by the 6th hour or the 12th hour, my head is banging like migraine, and unbearable. And so when it's like that, I can't plow. Sorry, I'm not that strong. I can't plow through migraine. No. If I'm having a migraine, I will eat something and I'll have a painkiller and I'll go to sleep till that migraine stops, So I've had cases like that. And then I think I've shared in one of my earlier videos, I think in day 1 or 2, how in December, this last December, I tried it was supposed to be a 24-hour dry fast or something. But I had barely gone into 12 hours when I had that brain. It was in my brain. No one can tell. It wasn't in my head. It was my brain. My brain was in pain. And that pain radiated down my neck, or this way and this way. I just quietly drank water, and soon after it stopped. I don't know what that was. It felt like I was maybe having a stroke or aneurysm or whatever. I don't know what that was. So all this, you can see there's so many instances of which I've started and stopped. So many fasting failures. But I think what has happened is my fasting muscles have been built up. And as I was sharing with my sister today, I said, I think my body just decided, you know what? Let's do this, okay? You've been wanting to do this like forever. You've been attempting it. You know what? Okay, Maggie, we're going to do this. And so this fast has actually been mild and easy. Yes, I feel weak and tired, but that's about it. And then the taste in my mouth, and even the taste in my mouth is not that bad. It's just that nothing is too pleasant. By nothing, I mean ice block and water. And I think that is also, I'm really struggling in the water department. I don't think I've been able to take 2 liters a day. I don't think I've been able to do that. Maybe 1.5, maybe 1.8, but 2 liters, 3, no, definitely not. Because even the water is not sweet. It has a taste that is not nice. Then I'm also not feeling thirsty. That's another thing. I'm not even feeling like I want to drink water. So that has been it. So what is the point of this whole video? Because I've just been telling the stories, the various fasting feels. I'm just trying to say it's not easy to get up and do a 40-day water fast. A few people have done it successfully. They never fasted before. They got up and they did a 40-day water fast. Kudos to them. But it's not easy, neither is it common. You find a lot of people who have successfully done a 21-day fast or a 40-day fast, started out with 1 day, went to 3, attempted 5, then maybe 7, then maybe 10 before they try 21. And that should be the way you should go. So if you're watching my videos and you say, yeah, I'm going to do a 40-day water fast, know that the chances of it happening automatically is very slim. My advice to you would be start with 1 day. Right now, as I am, I can do a 24-hour water fast or even a 24-hour dry fast easily. All I need to do is, okay, do you know what, from 6 to 6 tomorrow I'm not going to eat, and that's it, and I'm good. And sometimes I'm not even good. Sometimes I say, do you know what, the next 24 hours I'm not going to eat, and then I find myself so hungry, I'm like, do you know what, whatever, I'm eating. But what I'm just trying to say is, if you're interested in long-term fasting or extended fasting or a fasting lifestyle, because for me, fasting is actually also a lifestyle thing, then start with 24 hours. Master 24 hours. And then after that, move into 3 days, the 72-hour fast. Once you can master 24 hours and you master 72 hours, I can do 72 hours but with a lot of pushing from within. So once you can master 24 hours, then you can try 72 hours. Then after that, I would then think try 10 days or something. But don't just get up and say, oh, I'm going to do 40-day water fast. And I'll also advise you to listen to your body. You can see in all those other times that I failed, I was listening to my body. Debilitating headaches, I'm eating. Crazy cold, I'm eating. Crazy hunger, I'm eating. You know, that was it. So pain, sometimes there was this like kidney pain. Funny enough, I'm not having it in this fast. I'm eating. You know, so once the discomfort, my pain threshold is kind of low-ish. Once the discomfort is a bit too uncomfortable, sorry, I'm eating. You know, and that was what I was telling my sister today. I was chatting with her and I said, don't worry, I'm watching my body, I'm listening to it, and if I feel any crazy pain, if I'm not in pain, I'm not in any form of pain, I'm not uncomfortable, I'm just weak and tired, but if I feel anything out of place, I'll break the fast. And yeah, so we thank God. So I've finally done this video. I had said I would do a video of my fasting fails so that you guys will know that getting here was not overnight. So if you have watched this video up to now, this was just me having a nice story time with you guys. If you watched the video up to this point, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. You know, God bless you. I really appreciate you. And have a good day. I'm still going to do a day 20 update, you know, video. That'll be later in the day. It's still about midday today. It's still about 2 p.m. Around 5 or 6, I'll do my day 20 video. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, morning, evening, wherever you may be. Yeah.